Hey there everyone, welcome back again to the second part of the video where I'll show you how to make multi-page website using HTML and CSS. So make sure you have already watched that previous video, and in this video we will be making our contact and sign in. So half of the work we have already done. So we have also created our navbar. So now I'm gonna jump into the code editors. So as you are already familiar with this code, so I'm gonna close this stuff and I'm gonna open contact.html. So in case if you have forgot that we have how we are organizing the things. So in here we have four of the HTML pages. That's what we have, the four of the pages. You can see that according to that we have now named in here, and we have the style sheets. So these are the CSS files we have for each page. We have each style sheet, and for other things, so for navbar also we have one style sheet, and for other common things we have another style sheet. And in here we have one javascript file that only contains 7 lines of code, and one line is already empty there. So I could have done in this in 2 lines of code, but I haven't done that, so that it feels like more explanatory. In here you can see that it looks really cool, and it is just English language. You can see that, right? And in here we have bunch of images. Right here you can see that we are using in this project, and I have provided a link to all of these images in the description below, so check them out. Otherwise you can anytime go to the GitHub and download this code. And in here I have already shown you attached in here the navbar. So in here I'm gonna give the class of the section. So it's gonna be main or contact main. So I'm gonna do contact main, and just I have to separate that thing from other competitors. So I'm not gonna only having one section in this page. I'll be having different two section. I think minimum of two section in this page, so that I have to differentiate between different sections. So I did that, and in here what I'll be doing is I'll be making here something. So here it's gonna be it's contact main text, or main text or something like that. So in here I'm gonna create a h1 tag, and inside this I'll say our teams teams are ready to help anytime or something like that. I forgot that one, so I forgot that the heading, but I just copied this guy. So this is get in touch and let us know about this. So I'm gonna format this document, and earlier in the part 1 I've talked about how to format that, right, with the prettier extension. And in here what I'll be doing is that I'm just replacing this thing with this thing. So this is the original thing, and underneath it I'm gonna have a button that's actually gonna be I'm not gonna only gonna leave it as hashtag. And in here need I'm gonna say ask for them do you need help. So if I'll be writing do you need help, it's gonna be a long text, or that's gonna be a long button. So in here you can see we have this thing, so we just don't want to have like that. So we are gonna grab contact .css, and in here we are gonna do something weird thing. So contact main, this is the section. Yeah, and in here you can see that it's a section, and you can see that it has extended up to here. So it's a section, and inside in here I'm gonna do background URL, and here I'm gonna go back to our images folder, and then grab the image that was some space.jpg that I have picked from the official account of NASA and from unsplash.com. And it's gonna have background size will be cover, not content. It's cover, so that background size will be cover to our whole screen. And in here what I'll be liking, yes, I just want to have color of all the text, all of the elements inside it should be having the FFF. Of course all of the text will not be having the FFF white color, because some of the elements have default styling as color inherit, but many of them don't have. In here you can see that our heading and paragraph had that color set to inherit, but this guy is not set to inherit. Like I can show you, like in here you can see. So in paragraph you can see we have like color. So let me show you where it is. Show contact main and color fff. So it's like inherited from this section that contact from, like here you can clearly see that it's inherited. But in here if I inspect this anchor tag in here, you can see that we are not actually, this is not being applied in here. Yes, this is not applying in here. You can see that inherited from the contact main. So these properties are inherited, but this color is not inherited in there. So that's the difference. And let's move on to the next part. The next part will be like I'm gonna like do here like main height. So it's gonna be like main height 100 px, and like yeah, it's gonna cover 100 vs at the minimum, bare minimum of 100 vs. And like after this, what I'm gonna like do is like take those things at the center. So take those things means all the contents to the center. And for this purpose, what I'll be doing is that I think it's like the first page. So I'll be like doing this thing as we did in the first page. So in here like I'm gonna be changing the font size to actual 2.5 rem for like that's not really a good thing. So I'm gonna be like changing that contact main text, right? So contact main text, inside of that we have h1 tag, so that will be having like 1.5, but it should be like 2.5 ram. But that this is not gonna have that. Instead it's gonna be having like position, it's gonna be absolute SOLU. It's gonna be like let me spell it right. Why I'm this is not spelling that right. So 50%, and then left will be like 50% is, and then what will be at the here. So it's gonna be transform translate, like a translate is gonna be having translate minus 50%, set to minus 50% and minus 50 percentage, and it's gonna like do our job. Boom boom boom. Yes, it did actually came to the center, and in here you can see that it's in the center, but we have to like manage this further. So in here I'm gonna like give it some padding. So padding of like 4 rem of padding, and then like I'm gonna not really 4 rem of padding, it's like 1 rem of padding. I think I'm gonna give it as a 1 rem of padding. Let's save this, let's see how it all goes. So it hasn't been like differentiate, but I am using 4 rem. And in here what I'll be doing is like I'm gonna be increasing the minimum width of that thing. So it's gonna be like minimum width, at the bare minimum you should be occupying 70% 75 percentage of the width. And in here I'm gonna like aligning everything on the center with this text aligns the property. And in here you can see that already see the difference. So I'm gonna copy this guy and paste in here, and instead of h1 I'm gonna target p tag, and in here I'm gonna like do 1.5 rem, and let's see how it all goes. And it looks way better now, I think. And in here I can like see that it's more of these bright things are coming up. So I think this background size should be removed from there, and like it should be remaining what it is as it is. So in here you can see that our text is coming on top of that pure black background, and it looks way nicer than the previous one. And in here like I'm gonna go up to like I also want to have some amount of margin in here, like margin of 1 rem from the top, but no nothing from the left side or right side, and like 2 rem from the bottom, so that button will be like moved further away from there, and 0 rem from 0 pixel or 0 percentage or 0 rem from here and there. Like I don't really want to have that. And in here like I'm gonna go to contact main text, inside of that yeah I have to anchor tag. So text decoration will be none, that should be set to none. Why they have text decoration, I don't really know, but they have like this crazy text decoration. And color, it's not like columns, it's like color. It's gonna be white one, and then I'm gonna be having like something little weirdy, so it's gonna be like padding will be like 10 pixels. So as we gave it in the pricing section, it's gonna be like 10 pixel and 25 pixel, and in here you cannot see that thing. But let me just type in border, and border will be like 1 pixel solid hashtag fff. And let me show you how it all looks like, and I think it looks way cooler than the previous one. And then yes, after this what I'm gonna do is what I really want to do, like I just want to copy this guy. No, I don't want to copy that, but instead I just want to create a thing like what it's like pseudo element. So in here I'm gonna like go to before. So I'm gonna create not go to before, like I'm gonna create a before pseudo element. So in here it's gonna have content will be nothing, content is gonna be having nothing at all. Then I'm gonna like do position, position will be absolute, and position, if a position will be absolute, then top will be 0, like left will be 0, and then what it's gonna be like, so top 0 left 0. And then what I am gonna do in here, like I'm gonna be here like writing position. mm, Position will be like a relative, so that 2 is gonna be relative to, so this before is gonna be like relative to this actual main or parent tag or element. And in here I'm gonna like do background color of red. And in here you can see that, why you can't see that, but so we have to like give is like crazy 100% of width and height of 100% is, so that you will be like seeing that thing. But in here you are not gonna see that damn white thing. So why you are not able to see that? So in here I'm gonna be like doing g index, it's gonna be like -1, so the text is gonna pop over that, like come out of that. And I just want to animate this thing, so let's grab this guy, copy this, and like come to the bottom. And in here like I'm gonna change this guy on hover, like let's just call it like that. And in here I'm gonna be like using the transform property, transform, it's gonna be like scale x will be 1, but I'm gonna duplicate this one and take that in here, and scale will be 0. So in here you can see that we don't have anything yet, but if I hover over that, we have like that red thing going on in here, but we are not able to see what type of property we are using. So like I'm gonna be like taking that transition 0.3 seconds is in out, it's gonna be a better choice. You can clearly see how it all goes, so it's clear and smooth. But I don't think like 1 second is like pretty okay, it's pretty fast. But 2 second, I think it's great. 2 second is great, but 3 second it sucks. So I wasn't able to like keep up on the promise, so I'm gonna be like doing here media screen, and in here I'm gonna be like using max width, and here like 600 pixel, like come over here and like grab this container first, main content text. So it actually have like mean width of 75% in there, but in here I'm gonna change it to like width will be 90%, so it should be having like 90% of the width, and your minimum of 75% is gonna be applicable. Of course that's gonna be applicable. And in here h1 we have like crazy 4 rem, so I'm gonna be like changing that font size to 2 rem instead of 4 rem. And then I'm gonna come over here to the contact man text, and in here I'm gonna like target the p tag and change the font size to like 1 rem. and like in here you can see right here, like it's a bit of like it's tidy up, like yeah, okay, its contact form is like a responsive one, like contact, yeah, it's just slightly responsive than the previously it was. Now in here what I really want to change is this red color. This is so reddish that I just don't want to have that much of reddish color. Instead of that red, I'm gonna be like changing it to chocolate color, so it's like our eye doesn't hurt that much now. And like we are done with this guy, so not only this, we are not only having this thing in our like contact form or like contact page, we are gonna have another thing. So section, another section will be there, like ntsd contact form, like form, and in here yeah, contact, inside of contact form, what we are gonna have, like inside of contact form we are gonna be having contact form, of course. Like save this, and we are gonna install that contact form, the contact form, and it's not like from, it's form, and it's gonna of course have the text aligned to center, and then like another will be like padding to 1 rem from all sides, like this. And if I go in here, we are not able to see that, but in here we can clearly see that we are having that 2 rem of that height, because we are gonna have like at least 2 rem of like height, because we are having that padding of 1 rem from all sides. In here I'm gonna have a h1 tag. Inside of this I'm gonna have this text, so it's contact our team directly. And in here I'm like gonna to our form is actually a self-explanatory, so I'm not gonna touch that. So in action we are gonna like touch this part later on, like after finishing styling of this thing, we're gonna come to this part, and we are gonna be like doing something crazy in here. And here like when I click this need help, we are not, nothing is actually happening in here, like only the link. So here you can see that whenever I click need help, the url just changes a bit, like hashtag is added in there. So we just don't want that, we want to like navigate to the bottom of that page flow. So like navigate to the bottom means what do I mean by bottom means, bottom means here I'm gonna be having like a contact form in a while, so it should be like moved here. So I'm gonna have like id set to contact, and yes, id just act in a way like it does with this url. So in here I can like pass in the sref that let the contact.html. in the same way I can like pass the id also within the same element, or like if you are referencing to the id of the different page, then you have to like pass the full url. As the first of all we will be passing that path of that file, following by that hashtag sign, and then with the name of that id. In this case it's the id contact, so it's just moves slightly down, so we are not actually having that form. So and we are not actually having that thing yet, so we are not gonna be like noticing that thing. So let's have that thing. So input type text, name is gonna be okay, I just want to have like first name, yes, like f name, I think first name. We really have need to have first name, I don't think, but let's have that like first name. Save this, and then I'm gonna like duplicate this one 2 times, and here like it's gonna be the last name, and then here it's gonna be email, and then space and here address address, and in here it's gonna be like email. Okay, email, change it to email. The name will be email, type will also be email, so that it's gonna be like requiring the type of email things to be entered in there. And in here it's gonna be like l name, and in here like when we submit, we just require this field, means no one can submit this field like empty thing. and in here it will again be like, it's not like read only, it's gonna be like required. So how the user is supposed to type anything if it's only read only? And after this I'm gonna like duplicate this guy again, and in here I'm gonna like text, and then here at the name I'm gonna have the phone, so it's gonna be like phone number. But instead in here we are not really doing the type check, so we may have like written their number, but we are not really doing that. And here I'm gonna like do the phone number thing, so it's gonna be like placeholder will be like phone, only phone, like that. And then underneath it I'm gonna be like changing the name to company, and then here it's gonna be like requiring the things like in which organization you are working on, like company slash org, and organization name, yeah. Or like you don't really need this thing. And after this, so we really want to have a text area, so it's like a input field, but it's more likely to be like we can really what we can really do. So let me show you what we can really do with text area. So you can see here this box is a text area, which have like uh, 10 like 30 columns and 10 rows. So in here it's really resizable. So our these boxes, these text areas are so much resizable, so we can really use them. And in here I think it's way larger, so yeah, it feels like it's great now. And name is gonna be like query. So in here we are gonna ask some doubts, right? And in here like I'm gonna have a placeholder again, and it's gonna be like query slash message. So query slash message, and like that. Yeah, it already looks cool. And like let me format this document, like format this file, and like I'm gonna get this thing. And underneath it I'm gonna have button of type submit, and like crazy in here I'm gonna like say submit. And then yeah, whenever I press this it's gonna require these things. And now what I have to do is like I'm gonna go to index.html, and like come over here, this copy this one, and after this section I'm gonna paste this guy, save that, and like I got this thing at the bottom. And that, and it gives the satisfaction of like our this page is completed. But we have to like work on this more, because we are not actually our work is not finished yet. In here I have to like work a lot on that, or we have to. And in here I realized that it will be better if I will writing here like project details are like questions. Yeah, it looks more professional than the last one. Yeah, it looks really explanatory, self-explanatory. First thing I'm gonna do with this contact form is that I'm gonna go to this contact form, and inside of this form I'm gonna do like max width will be 500 pixel, no more than that. And yeah, I did a great job. And margin is gonna be like 1 rem from top and bottom. I think 1 rem is like I'm giving the 1 rem everywhere, like being a crazy guy. And in here you can see that we gave the margin left and right auto, so it just centered that thing. And in here we are just gonna do like display flex thing, display flex, save that. And like they are like they came side by side. Um and like I'm gonna do flex direction column, so that they will be going underneath the one another, and it looks really polished now. And like underneath it I'm gonna like target the input fields. Like let's just first target the form, and then inside of the form I'm gonna target the input fields. Height is gonna be 40 pixel of each. Height is gonna be 40 pixel. Width, I don't think we have to really give the width, but padding, I'm gonna give padding of 5 pixel from top and bottom and 10 pixel from left and right, and like it really looks premium like quality and like everything like that. And outline is like I'm gonna like remove the outline. So in here like you can see that we are not actually having that. So let me show you. Whenever like I focus on this guy, so in this guy, so in here you can see that kinds of a border is like occur. That kind of a border is in here, like that's black border. You can see that whenever I like click or focus, we get that border. So I just don't want to have like that. Instead, what I really want to have is that uh, uh, we want to have like our custom uh, outline. So if we like do our change our outline, then the outline is gonna be like little bit clunky in their style. So it's gonna be like coming every time. But if we do like follow this convention to give the outline, then like 2 pixel solid, like it's gonna be like what it should be, royal below. So now if we follow this convention, we can see that we are having like this color. And yes, I feel like we have to like really give some amount of marginal, and like let's give it as margin bottom 5 pixel, margin bottom as 5 pixel margin bottom of 5 pixel. And here let's give it as like 2 rem, and let's see how this looks. Okay, it looks really polished now, right? It really looks really polished now. But what I really want to have is like 1 pixel, how much it will be like in the 1 pixel. It really feels like good. Yeah, in the 1 pixel also we can see that it's highlighted. But in the case of this text area, something is like lacking in there. So we haven't really like styled our text area things. So let's grab our text area also in here. Instead of input, I'm gonna be like grabbing the text area. But we are not gonna have this height. uh yes, we are not gonna have this height, and like we are not also gonna have like margin bottom things. So yeah, we are not gonna have that margin bottom things. But in here I'm gonna like copy this guy, like paste over here, and then instead of input, I'm gonna be like writing text area. Yes, this looks like we did something great in here. And now we are left off with this submit button. So let's go here and like go to contact form, and inside of the form we have like the button level clunky button in there. So I'm gonna like style that clunky button. So it's gonna be having background color of a royal blue. It's not like rosy brown, it's royal blue. Why that comes up every time, I don't know. And height, I think I'm gonna give it as height. Like height is pretty suitable in this case, 40 pixel. And as you can already see that we have like submit. But let me show you the real magic in here. So whenever I go to contact and like press this need help, so it goes like this. So we are redirected to this form. But it's not really that smooth. So whenever I like click this, it's instantly goes there. But it's not there that smooth in the in experience. So I'm gonna like come over here, and like in the extract field, I'm gonna be like, so it should be like scroll behavior smooth. So the while scrolling, the behavior will be smooth. That's what it is saying. Like so when I like click this need help, it's gonna like scroll to this. So it's gonna like scroll like this, and then it just happens instantly. But like when we like give here transition, so that's like same thing, but we can't give transition to this sliding thing. So whenever we give that scroll behavior smooth, it's gonna be like scrolling smoothly. And yes, we did that. And like here I'm gonna like change the color to like FFF, and change the border radius also. I think border radius of like 5 pixel. Yeah, it really looks nicer now. And like in here you can see that we have like border in this button also, and look at our mouse cursor, it's not changing the pointer. So we are gonna do that thing. So in here, like, I'm gonna change the cursor to pointer so that it points in there. And like in here, what I said is that border will be none, so that we are gonna remove that border. And in here you can see that we have that smooth experience. And like underneath that, I'm gonna have like margin, crazy margin. Margin top and bottom will be having 5 pixel of margin. And in here you can see that we have this little gap in here, and our contact form really looks sweet and clean. Yeah, we need not to do like a really good step to make this kind of contact form. And yes, we can like submit this, and I think we are done with our form. But let's just make us like a sweet little animation, like hover effect there. So let's copy that, paste that in here, and like if I hover over that, uh, I'm gonna be like duplicating this thing. So let's duplicate and like take that in here. So whenever I hover over that, I just want to make it more darker like this. And in here I'm gonna give some transition kind of thing. So 3 second, like 3 second, I'm gonna give 3 second. Is in out. Yeah, is in out, I'm gonna give is in out. And like, yeah, it looks premium. Yeah, it looks really cool. Like, and in here you can see that in the smaller devices also, it just fits nicely and sweetly. Now we need not to like change this thing anymore. Like, it just fits completely fine in the smaller devices also. And yes, we are done with our this contact form. And like this, and after this we are gonna like give our users their social media icons to follow. And yes, after this we are gonna have like bunch of social media links for people to follow us. And in here, after the form, I'm gonna like do social, and then me, it's gonna be like medias, and hit enter. And inside of this, I'm gonna have like bunch of URL tags. Inside that, I'll be having like ally tags. So ally, and inside of that, I'm gonna be having anchor tag. So in here you can like say this http something like that. I'm not gonna do that, but instead in here I'm gonna be like creating a I tag with fa class. And class will be having another thing is fa Facebook. And in here, like, I'm gonna be like outside of that I tag, I'm gonna be like writing the actual Facebook thing. So why I'm like giving the Facebook link on the top, I don't know. And like in here, it's gonna be like and contact us on the social media will be the heading, but it's gonna be like s3. So let me just erase that guy, and here it will be s3, and that's gonna be inside in there. So you can see already here is that icon. So let me just duplicate this guy all the way up to here. And instead of Facebook, instead of this Facebook, I'm gonna go for mm, Twitter, tweet. And here like TWITTR Twitter. And then after this, I'm gonna be having like, here you can like do anything. Like, I'm gonna like here, yeah, I'm gonna do hashtag, because I don't have like this all of the links right now. And here also you can like change this to Instagram. And then after this we'll be like changing it to like GitHub. Yes, why I'm like giving all of that links. But yeah, it's like GitHub, save this. And yeah, we are having those all of these things. But I don't feel like they are gonna give like GitHub links. So I think it's more like they are gonna be giving their tutorials. So it's gonna be like more of a YouTube thing. YouTube, let me just spell that correctly. So YouTube, and then they may be having like a LinkedIn, a linked it's like a linked in it's a more of joint like that, I think. I don't really know how it LinkedIn. Yes, we are having those all the links, and at the bottom of that links I'm gonna be having another thing, but instead in here I'm gonna be like having a mail to. Here you can write any email you are actually having. So if you want to just contact with me for like business purpose or anything or any query like that, but don't really spam in this email. In here you can like reach me out at this email address. Yes, I have like given this email address on my channel also, but you can reach me out on this channel. And in here I am gonna be writing email like that, and like I'm gonna show you how to actually interact with this. So in here, in it is gonna be envelope, and in here you can see that. But what is the work of like why we did like this random thing like long string? So when I click this all the links, nothing is gonna really happen. Like it's gonna only like add hashtag on top of that, so nothing is really gonna happen. But when I click this email, your default mail app is gonna get open in here. Like my mail app is open in here. Now I can like type subject and like type message and like hit send and like send that. But I didn't want to send that. I didn't want to spam to my own email, so I'm not gonna do that. But if you are actually running Linux, then also it's and I think there is like Thunderbird or like that default mail app that's gonna get open. I think that's not really handy in many ways, but by this method you can like literally copy this email from this and like copy from here and go to like gmail.com and like yeah, literally send that from send email from there. Who cares? But you can like directly send that thing from here. Now what should be doing is let's just go to CSS file and like edit those things. And here like it's gonna be social medias, and it's gonna have max width, of course, max width of like 500 pixel, as we did in the contact form. And here it's gonna be like margin, I think 0 pixel and auto. I don't know how much margin I have to like give, but margin I give 0 pixel and auto. And in here I think I'll be like giving text align center so that everything align. Oh, it's like line on the left side of the screen, unlike in here it's aligned perfectly fine. Like yeah, it's perfectly fine. And like I'm gonna go to social medias ULLI and like change the list style to like none, and like save this and you can see the difference, of course. So in here what I'm gonna change is these things. So let's change that guy. So this it's gonna be like dot social media, and inside of there we have ally anchor tag. Anchor tag will be having text decoration, like text decoration. I don't know why they have like text decoration by default, but I don't really like this text decoration, guys. So I just prefer giving none. And like color will be, what should be the color will be hashtag 555, so it's gonna be like slightly lighter black or something like that. And here I'm gonna be like having a margin of like 0 pixel from top and bottom. Like I'm gonna like just write it as margin left of 5 pixels, so that we will be like having some amount of space in there. Yeah, I give their margin of 5 pixel, but it's not working. I know the reason why it's not working. And that social medias and ULLI anchor and I'm gonna like give that guy. So I'm gonna be like taking that in here. So margin instead of left, I'm gonna be like writing right, and in here I'm gonna be like writing here what should be the color will be uh, its color will be uh, black by default. Like, yeah, this is actually black by default. And like whenever I hover over this anchor tag, I'm just gonna change the color to like this black. So it's like whenever I hover over this guy, it's like changing the color to black. So it's like doing this job instantly. Her, yeah, it's, I think it feel like it's doing this job instantly. Or okay, here we haven't changed that really. So in here you can see we have, it's doing its job instantly, so we don't have like any problem with that. We are not gonna be like giving their transition. But in here I'm gonna go and like give here hover, and when we are hovering over that, I just want to change it to like blue color. Yeah, any blue color with prefer, like any blue color I'm gonna like give it. But it should be like I, if I hover I, it's gonna be like having it feels like really clunky in this condition. Like, why it's not happening? Like, okay, it's happening, right? But what I really want to have is whenever I hover that link, that so this icon should be highlighted, like icon should be highlighted, right? So in here you can see that if I hover the link, icon is highlighted, and yeah, icon is highlighted like that. And that just feels natural in a way. And in here you can see it's completely responsive, and we are done with our contact form also. Now let's move on to like the sign in for. And in here I'm gonna be like doing changing the background first of all. Okay, I think I have done with the, I'm done with this guy. So I'm gonna go to login.css, and alongside I think I'm gonna be like opening up login.html. Okay, login.html, it doesn't have anything at all. Like literally it's gonna have one section. Okay, and like I'm gonna go to contact.html, of course, and like grab this guy from here. I'll grab this little guy. I have like grab that at the end, but I grab that at the first. So we have like this, and I'm wanna go there and like grab that section, and like give it the mean height of like 100 of years, like save that. And here we have this footer at the end, like copyright thing at the end. And in here I'm gonna change the background like crazy, and like I can like give it the background like URL. And in here I can like give I can go to images, and I'll be like giving the lock. So I can like do something like that. But in here you can clearly see that our text is not visible properly. So what we can do right now, or like for like I'm gonna be like doing background size cover, save that. We are like having this kind of a background. Of course it looks nicer than the previous one, but of course, and it is not like this dark or like this clear. It's more of like a really badass thing. So in here we can like add extra layer. So we are gonna be adding layer, but first of all let me show you. If I'm gonna add this linear gradient, so this is a linear gradient. You can of course see that. Let me format the document, and you can see this guy. Like let me do like this, so you will be feeling comfortable seeing this thing. And like, yeah, so come over here. Of course, like a little here. And yes, this is the linear gradient. and like if I save this, come back here, like we have this type of gradient, but we want this gradient to be on top of that image. For that to happen, we are gonna be actually going here and like giving here comma, and here we are gonna be inserting our image, like um go to our images folder slash log dot jpg, and after this I'm gonna be like writing here no repeat so that it doesn't repeat at all. Yeah, we are now having this type of thing, so it's a little clunky and shadowy thing, and I think it's more of that, so it's like 0.7 is like too much, so alpha I'm gonna change it, and of course it's first changed, and like it's a little bit of like cleaned up, I think then previously it's like some like cleaned up little bit of clean up thing, so I can like change the property in here. Yeah, yeah, it's now a bit more cleaned up. And in here it doesn't really fit that much nicely, so I have to like make it more darker and save this. Yeah, it now looks pretty great, and like yeah, color matching is all we need for our UI part. And here I will be like just duplicating this thing, and instead of WebKit I'm gonna do Moz, so that it's gonna be supported in our Mozilla browser also. And I think this kind of this gradient, this whole thing is not supported in any other browser, rather than this Firefox and Chrome. Yes, you can like implement better convention to that, to implement that, guys. But I think these are the two main browsers that we'll be using, so I don't think really we have to like go that crazy in there. So in here, after the navigation bar, and in here I'm gonna like create a login, and inside of this I'm gonna have h1 tag that will say sign in, and after this we'll be having like another thing is form, of course. How can we forget form? And in the form, after the form we'll be having like dot, like it's gonna be like input group, right? Like input are like form items or input groups. It's gonna be form items, so it's individual item inside of the form. So inside of the form we have like label, and label for, I think it's gonna be like email. Yes, it's gonna be email. So email address, no, not the element itself, address. And then after this I'm gonna have the input, of course, actual input tag with the email type, and it's gonna be having email, of course. And we don't really need id neither, nor like we'll having the placeholder. And in here you can always see this list little box. And why did I write like label in this in the first case? So the reason for writing label is that whenever I click on this, it's gonna get focused in here and I can type, but whenever I like click elsewhere, it's not gonna get focused, right? I click elsewhere, it's not gonna get focused. But if I click on this email address, like you can see, literally see there, this is a text email address. So if I click this, it's not really happening in here. So why the hell we are not getting that? So we are actually saying for email, but for that to work will be having id. We need id, so id will be having the same. So id, the id of this input tag or input element is email, and we are referencing to this email, so these two should be same. So if I like go here and I click on this, it's gonna get highlighted, and if I click on this, it's also gonna get highlighted. And we can like type anything like this, we can type anything like this, and I can like press outside and like again focus and like remove everything from there. And yeah, it's a good world thing. And I'm gonna be like copying this guy or like duplicating this guy 2 times. So you may be thinking like we only need email address and password to log in or something like that. Yes, you are absolutely correct. And yeah, I'm like doing assumption sitting in here, control D, and it's gonna be having like password. So so if you are wondering how I did that, like you can like select a word like this, and like hit control and D. I think in Mac it's like command and D, so it's gonna highlight the same text like this, and you can like change any text like that. And yes, if you press escape it's gonna escape, otherwise you can always use cursor. And here at the label I'm gonna like say remember me, and then I'm gonna be changing it to checkbox, and ID is gonna be like remember, and name will be remember, and it's gonna be here it's gonna be like remember. And but in this case if I save this, we are actually having this so let me zoom in a little bit. We are actually having a box behind our text, so in this case we don't really want, so I'm gonna swap it up, and now it looks nicer and cleaner. So now I'm gonna like work on the form itself actually. And at the last we have like button that's gonna be like submit type of button, and that's gonna be like saying sign in. And yes, we have sign in button. Now let's go to our login form and like go to login, and like I'm gonna center this guy. So of course position will be absolute. Why this VS Code intelligence sucks up? Top will be 50 percentage, left will be of course 50 percentage, and then translate transform translate, let's do this like 50 percentage, and it's also minus 50%, and like it just, what the heck is that text gun? I didn't know what the hell happened. Like, okay, it's like not 505, it's like 50%, and I'm like, yeah, and they all have been centered now. And I think I have to like do something crazy in here. Like, I have to use background in here. I have to use background in here. So background will be, I'm gonna be like using RGBA, and it's 255 255, okay, it's 255 and 255, and here 0 0.7 will be the alpha. So save this, and here you can see little bit of like what I call this, I think it's like a little bit of transparency, which will be 375 pixel. I think it's really good with. And I think better will be if I give 350 pixel, and like in here I'm gonna do like back drop filter. It's gonna be like blur, and I'm gonna blur it like 5 pixel, and let's see how it all goes. So it's like something blurry in there, and here I'm gonna do like border radius like 10 pixels. So let me see how it all goes. And like border radius 10 pixel is also in there applying, and in here you can see like a bit of like glass morphism thing. So here you can see a bit of transparency. I think transparency it's not actually happening with this 0 0.7 thing. So let me just do, and like in here you can see a little bit of transparency happening, and when we'll be like completely done with this form, we'll get to that transparency. And like it may not be supporting in all of the browsers, so it's gonna be like now web, of course we have to like use WebKit in here. And yeah, I think it is actually a proper, I think we have to like use here the WebKit. So I'm gonna use WebKit background filter blur like that. And yeah, I think it really changed a little bit this time I think. And I'm gonna go to like login, and inside of that we have like h1 tag. It is gonna have font size of 2.5 rem, and like it's 2.5 rem. This, excuse me if I'm wrong, but it's gonna be for that much. And text align will be center. And let's see, wait a minute, like wait a minute, literally here we are having that text. And what I will doing is like that, like go to the login, and like I'm gonna go login, and what we have next is the form itself, form element itself. And I'm gonna have margin top of like 1 rem, so that it's gonna move a little bit down. Yeah, it's now let's target our like form item. So if you are really following with me, then you may know what this form item is. It's not form term, it's like form item. So our form item is really, so let me show you. So form item is really, let me just tidy this up. Yeah, and like let me just give it some space, control Z, and then I'm gonna tidy this guy. So in here form item is this is the form item, this is also a form item, this is also a form item. These are the little, actually the groups of our input fields. So in here I'm gonna give a display flex, and like it's gonna have what it's gonna have now, display of flex. It already had that guy. And flex direction will be like row, it's gonna be like column, right? So they are now gonna come up in the next like column. And in here you can see that in here the this checkbox and this label, actually they came into like different line, but we don't really want that to happen. So here I'm gonna like do entire child is gonna be the third child, of course third child. And like it's gonna have flex direction row. So I have to like change like that, and here you can see the change just happened instantly. And inside of this form item I'm gonna go and like uh, target our input field, and like change the height and give it a height as 40 pixel. Yeah, I think it's like a convention that I follow. So uh, I really like this 40 pixel of height and 5 pixel of like padding from top and bottom, and like that. Now in here I think there is a requirement of some white space. So in here I'm gonna give margin of 10 pixel and 0 pixel. But in here you can see we gotta give the vertical margin, but in here it's like attached to that bottom that side. So we just don't want that guy to be in the first place. And here I'm gonna give some amount of padding to like 20 pixel from top and bottom, and 10 pixel from sideways, which really results in a good actually UI. But if I'm gonna like remove that, what it's gonna happen, yeah, it looks more nice now than previously. Now I think I have to like change this to input boxes, input fields, and like come here. It's gonna be like background transparent. So background is gonna be transparent. Outline will not be in there at the first case, so outline will not be there. And border, I'm gonna change the border to like 1 pixel solely, and it's gonna be royal blue. Royal blue, save this. And yeah, I have like this border. And I think I will be like here it we can see clearly see the difference in there. So I have to like come over here, it here, and like literally say align items center. So if I say that these are gonna get centered, but in here also they are gonna get centered. So I will be like doing that thing in here, so it's like more of a center. But I have to now really like keep some amount of white space in there also. So here I'm gonna target the label tag, and give it a margin of like margin left, I think margin left of like left left of 5 pixel. I think 5 pixel is enough for it to move like that, like that crazy. And yeah, think I did we did really great job like this. Now we have really arrived to like the last part. So now let's move on to styling of button. So it's gonna be like inside of the login we have button, right? Inside of login we have form, and inside of that button. And then we are gonna like do the background color of royal blue, and then color of white. And then afterwards I'm gonna have like what should be in there at the first case. Okay, width will be like 100 percentage if allowed it to do. Yeah, its width will be 100 percentage. And like height is gonna be crazy 40 pixel. And then like okay, let me see how it all goes. Yeah, it looks really great. And like border is gonna be none. And then outline will also be like a none. Not, it will not be like hidden, it will be none. Like shouldn't like it shouldn't exist at all. Like cursor will be pointer. And then what I really want to do, or what we really want to have in here, like at the first place. So if I click email address, it's gonna focus. If I click passport, it's gonna focus. And I think it's really like a good one. And if we really have like a bad transparency, then I think I can go up here at the top. And in here like I can change that to 6.5. And like yeah, I think I can make it more transparent. And if I make it more transparent, it looks like a glass morphism more of that thing. So I'm gonna leave it as it is. So in here I'm gonna like animate that guy login from button. And it's if it's gonna get hovered over there. And then I'm gonna change the background color to like whopping crazy kind of thing, so royal blue. And it's gonna be like changed up to like more darker color. And like in here it's gonna be like transition. mm, Transition will be 0.3 seconds each in out will be the transition like this. Okay, it's more darker like than I expected. So let's save that. And yeah, I think it's again like more darker. Yeah, it looks like a great thing. But one thing I forgot to do is like here it will be required, right? It will be required, passport will be required, and email will be required. And like yeah, I just forgot doing that to do that. And I just remember that guy. And like in here you can see that it's asking for the password first. I don't know why it's asking. Okay, because I have like literally that remembering is not really a required thing. You can tick or untick that. But the email address and then password, those are the fields that are really required. At the end we have like all right results by that. And with this we have literally completed our UI development. Now we will be moving towards sending the email from our contact form. You can even like go to your home, and like you can implement that same functionality in the subscribe thing. But we are now I'm gonna show you how to make use of this form right here. So now let's send email using this contact form. For that we need to go to our this website called form submit.co. So I have actually made a video on this already. So if you want to get the detailed information about what we are doing, then just watch that previous video of and if you want just a sneak peek of what we are doing, then we are just sending email using the is this method of a post. So post method, we are using post method. and all of this email sending is being handled by our form submit.co. Then what we did is like we just copied this whole thing from here like this one, and we have to like paste in here, and we need not to do worry about anything. So make sure method is post, and in here instead of your email.com I'm gonna like type my own email. And for this purpose I'll be using a temporary email provider called temp mail.org. Yes, I just don't wanna like use any other email provider. So and it's really a good way to test if it works for all the email providers or not by using this type of temporary emails. And in here like I copied my email from here like clicking this. So this is the email that we are now provided with. And in here like you may be thinking like in here you may let me show you. So in here if I like inspect this guy, so in here you may be thinking like my email is exposed in here, like something of clunky thing that you may be thinking like user can view or tester can like view my actual email. Then it's not really a case, let me tell you, it's not really a case. Like, we can like replace this whole email with a random string that is generated by our form submit. So let me fill up this form. So I'm using a guest mode. So I think in guest mode I don't really get access to extensions. So I'm gonna like close the guest mode, and I have to now really go to Google Chrome and like access my personal ID. Now go to this site, and like I have to go to like tempmail.org again to pick up the email. So I hope that I'm gonna get the same email again. No, I didn't got that same email. So I'm gonna change the email from here, like save that, and like I'm gonna submit that email, submit this contact form. And I'm using this fake filler, that's the extension that I have installed. So this is a Chrome extension you can also install. So I'm gonna fill up this form. So it's a fake filler that's gonna fill up this form, and I'm gonna type submit, and it's gonna submit our form like this. And for the first time you need to just activate this form, right? So in here you can get the activation link. So in here you get activation link, just activate this guy. Just click on that thing, so it's just activated, right? It's just activated. And in here you get like using this random string to use this random string to replace your email address in the action attribute of your form, right? It's giving us this random string. I said you earlier also, it's giving us that random string. And in here like if I'm gonna go here and submit this guy, then it's gonna actually come up into my email address, actual email address that I have actually entered in there. Just come back again, and in here like back to list I can get that fake fake list of the contact form I submitted there. So actually I got two submissions. I think I have submitted for submitted twice. So in here you can see that's what we got. And in here we got that f name and l name, email, phone, and it's completely well organized in a well organized form. Yeah. And we can say that from which site we got, it's our local host. And if we deploy this site on the internet, then we can get like something like a hostq.netlify.app or hostq.com, something like that. And in here in the actual source code I'm gonna like replace that with the string that we copied from our mailbox. And like I'm gonna come up here and again fill up this form, fake form. Like in here you can see that Alessandra Baron is the name. Let's submit this guy. And in here it checks if you are a robot or a human, and like it clarifies, and that's a check. And then that prevents us from like getting that scammed or spam. So that really prevents us from like spamming. So spam that really prevents us from spam emails. And now in here let's just check. Okay, it's really a slow, kind of slow and steady process. And in here you can see that Lysandra Baron is the name that we actually submitted, and in this way you can like actually submit that. And let me show you something. Okay, over here, in here also, if you like, just copy this, only this much of this line, and let me copy this and like go to index.html. So it's like here index.html, and come over to this mailbox which is in here, and in here in this form action, if you like, do this, save this, and in here like I can like name it is subscribe, subscription email, and like save this guy. And if I enter here email, so let me just fill up this form, like that's a fake email. And like if I'll be doing that, so that luckily that gave us the same email, right? So if I subscribe that, it's gonna check us like captcha, and we can remove this captcha also. Like, yeah, we have literally the option to really customize how we want really. I have already covered everything in the previous video, and you can check that out. It's really a quick video, so it's not gonna take that long. And in here you can see our is subscription email is, it's like melindrar.com is the subscription email. And yeah, that's how we can like literally interact with the form without even using a backend. But if you want to like implement sign in or sign up feature, we have to use backend. And that's it for this video, and in the next video I'll show you how to host this website for free on the internet with custom domain name.